This is Copper 90, and these are the 6 ways Jurgen Klopp can make Liverpool great again. Liverpool might have spent the first 3 months of the season looking like genuine title contenders, but even the most biased of rival supporters would have to admit that Jurgen Klopp has slightly overachieved by managing to get the Reds back into the top 4 for only the second time in 8 seasons. He might not have had to contend with the pain and suffering of playing Thursday and Sunday because of the Europa League, but the squad at his disposal was clearly the weakest of the top 6. In his 18 months as Liverpool manager, Klopp has a net spend of under 10 million quid, but now that the Champions League group stages are tantalisingly close, it's time for John Henry and FSG to show how serious they are about re-establishing Liverpool as a genuine force, able to compete on all fronts and win trophies. The Manchester clubs and Chelsea will spend big. Liverpool will have to match them. Buy a left-back. Cast your minds back to the summer of 2014 when Alberto Moreno was the answer. Unfortunately, it's since been revealed that the question was, which Spanish left-back costing 12 million English pounds has no idea how to defend one-on-one and is more competent on his segue than he is sensing danger in the box. Nothing against James Milner here. He's done an admirable job playing out of position and having to rely on his weak foot, never giving wingers an easy ride, and he's lethal from the penalty spot. But he's not a left-back. Liverpool have to spend wisely on whoever they bring in. Hull's Andrew Robertson has been talked about, but there are doubts about his defensive capabilities. And it remains a surprise that the club didn't challenge Arsenal for Kolasinac. Theo Hernandez and Jose Gaya have also been linked, but the smartest move would be to sign the tried, tested and hugely improved Ryan Bertrand as the main man, with either Robertson or Gael Clichy on a free as backup. Reinforce the midfield. Last season was mostly one of positives for Liverpool's midfield. Lallana was much more effective when moved further back. Emre Can, free of the calf problems that have blighted him for 12 months, finished the season strongly, and Gini Wijnaldum has become a crowd favourite for his calmness under pressure and eye for an important goal. The negative, of course, surrounds captain Jordan Henderson. He's missed large parts of the last 2 seasons because of a dodgy heel, and it's an injury that he'll have to manage for the rest of his career. Without a controller at the base of midfield, Liverpool will suffer, and although Lucas performed well down the closing stretch, an upgrade is required. Naby Keita from RB Leipzig is top of the list, but he's talked of staying in the Bundesliga. Iramendi has returned to form back at Sociedad, and Monaco's Fabinho would be an eye-catching buy, but don't be surprised if they return to feeder club Southampton for Oriol Romeu. Add pace. By the time you're watching this, Roma's Mo Salah might have signed, and his pace, goals and creative ability are massively needed in a team that looked decidedly one-paced when Sadio Mane was injured or away at the AFCON. Salah and Mane together will be terrifying, although one of them will have to play on the left, as you don't pay £35 million for a backup player, and that would also liberate Coutinho, who looked far more effective and unpredictable when he played centrally towards the end of the campaign. If Liverpool do get through the Champions League playoffs, and if Ben Woodburn and Shea Ojo aren't ready to start away at Stoke, then players like West Brom's Matty Phillips and Spartak's Quincy Promes need to be seriously considered. It's no good winning away on a Wednesday night if you can't follow it up on a Saturday. Defensive leadership. Despite seemingly being third in a 3-horse race behind Chelsea and Man City, Liverpool are now favourites to sign Virgil van Dijk. Well, that's a turn up for the books, isn't it? Whether it's because he didn't fancy endless drills with Conte while David Luiz pulled silly faces at him, or even being reduced to a shell of a man by Pep's demands to play out whatever the situation, he's let it be known that Anfield is the place for him. For 60 million quid, he needs to be more than just the glue that joins the cavernous cracks in Liverpool's defence. He needs to form an unbreakable bond with Joel Matip. He needs to win big headers from set pieces to take the pressure off Mignolet, and he needs to control his fullbacks like a puppet master. It's a massive ask. Matip had a good season and has something of the Alan Hansen about him, but Van Dijk needs to be a hybrid of Jamie Carragher and Sami Hyypiä. Come in number 9. Perhaps the saddest thing about Liverpool's end to the season was seeing Daniel Sturridge put in a couple of decent performances. He remains the best striker at the club in terms of pure technique. His feet continue to dazzle, and he can score goals out of nothing. We're not saying he should be sold. He's a valuable squad asset, but he simply can't be relied upon. For Klopp's favoured system, Firmino remains the best option at number 9 because of his work rate. But in the really tight games in a packed schedule, Liverpool need a Costa, Kane or Aguero-type striker who thrives on goals. Lyon's Lacazette is coming off the back of a 37-goal season and has improved every year. Inter's Mauro Icardi would add a bit of devil up front, and Celtic's Moussa Dembele would be a gamble. Each of those would add a different dimension, and we also think that Jermaine Defoe should have been considered alongside a marquee signing for his goals, experience and ability to play on his own or in a pair. It will also be interesting to see if Danny Ings and Dominic Solanke can force their way into the reckoning. Tactical flexibility. For the majority of last season, Klopp stuck to his favoured 4-3-3. When it's good, often against the top teams and sides who come to play, it is very good. Yet there were too many laboured performances last year against teams content to sit back and play on the break. The switch to a diamond midfield and 2 strikers against West Ham was welcomed by Liverpool fans. Coutinho revelled in a central role, and Sturridge and Origi were one-on-one against the centre-halves, and Chan, Lallana and Gini Wijnaldum adapted very well. It's a formation that should be used against more teams who park the bus. On the flip side of this, Klopp also has to find a way to slow it down a bit more when they have a lead. Liverpool won't be able to play at maximum intensity for a whole season in 4 competitions, so the ability to shut it down and kill the opposition by playing keep ball will be a vital weapon. This summer, more than ever, transfer activity is key to Liverpool taking several steps back to where the fans demand they are. If Klopp gets the squad he wants, doesn't lose any big names, and formulates plan B and C, then Liverpool just might become great again.